Hey, what's up everybody? It's Dilby. Today I'm back for a potential final update to my Chaos DoT Bloodmage. So for this build, I'm mainly focusing on clearing end-game maps, and I'm not even doing like pinnacle bosses at all with this build. Map bosses are okay, they take a little bit long, but they're fine, you can do them. But the main appeal to this build is going to be that it can pretty much run any map, so you can juice your maps to the max pretty much. You can't really do Burning Ground, not because it does damage to you, but because it destroys your poison clouds, which is really annoying and can slow down your DPS a lot. But besides that, you can run pretty much anything, and you can make a lot of currency on a really cheap character, and you can use it to fund a different character that you can use to kill bosses, since this build isn't really going to be doing the pinnacle bosses. Now, before I get into the actual build, I just want to real quick go over why exactly I chose Bloodmage as a Chaos DoT build, because it's not exactly the most synergistic ascendency for us. So the main reason really is when I play ARPGs, I'm not one of those people that play to make like the most meta character in the world and break the game. I typically try to find a class fantasy that I want to fulfill, play as that class fantasy, and then try to push that class fantasy to the max, and if I can break the game as that class fantasy, then awesome. But that's typically how I play these games, is how I enjoy them. That's how I get the most satisfaction. So for me, I wanted to play as like a life-sucking blood mage, essentially, like a disease-spreading witch that sucked the life out of her opponents. So that was basically my only route to doing that, was as a blood mage, or it seemed like it. So I decided to go with that. So it's ultimately, there is probably better things to go for. Really, you want to go Pathfinder. I didn't know I was going to go Poison from the beginning. I thought I would be able to do Essence Drain and Contagion. It turns out Essence Drain is absolute ass cheeks. Like, I use it, but it does like no DPS. There's a point in my build where I was fully spec'd into it. I had everything in my build revolving around Essence Drain, and the best I could do was to get it to do like 12k DPS. Like, it was pathetic. With Contagion, it obviously ramps up a lot more than that. And I mean, there's a few things you can do to push it up even higher, but even if you do everything you can, I highly doubt, on Blood Mage at least, you could kill any pinnacle boss. Even like +4 map bosses, I don't think you could kill with Essence Drain. So I had to get creative, because that was my whole idea, is I want to do Essence Drain and Contagion. I wanted to do it in PoE 2, it was one of my favorite builds in PoE 1. And it was kind of ass cheeks, so luckily these corpse weight boots came in and saved us, and that's what I pretty much use and revolve this build around. Alright, so let's just go right into the passive tree. So I'm going to try to be kind of quick about it. Everything is in the build guide in the description, and you can follow along here and just copy over. I'll go over the most important parts real quick. So we are utilizing a full weapon swap setup. All 24 points are used for both weapon 1 and weapon 2. And the general idea is chaos damage on weapon 1 and minion life on weapon 2. We use the weapon 2 swap to bring out a bunch of minions. We have a spirit scepter and a shield that gives us spirit on weapon swap 2. So we're allowed to summon a bunch of minions, and then we use the beefiest minions we can to kill them with sacrifice, which we'll get into when we get into our gym setup. And that gives us our single target damage, and sometimes it helps us out in maps if we need a little bit of quick damage before our poison clouds start proliferating. Alright, so the most important parts of the build. All these like little defensive nodes are important, the evasion and energy shield. We are going hybrid evasion and energy shield and life, and but our only evasion piece is our chest. And I'll explain how that works, but we have like 50% evasion with just a chest piece, and our chest piece isn't even a pure evasion chest piece. If we had a pure evasion chest piece, we'd probably have like 70% evasion, maybe more. Probably like 75 to 80 if you really got a juiced out one. But anyway, we grab all these evasion energy shield stuff. For our jewel slots, we are using 3 Grand Spectrum rubies. The way that these work is they have 2% increased life, and per each Grand Spectrum we have 3, which is the max, which means that each one of these gives us 6% increased maximum life for a total of 18%. So we have 3 of those slotted in, and our other gym slots, you really just want energy shield, area of effect, and life on kill. This one is not a perfect one, but that's what you would ideally want. In the build guide, I did put the ideal gems in. You know, obviously you can't always get what you want. I don't have like the perfect ones, so it is what it is. It's not a big deal. Outside of that, for the chest piece trick that I was talking about, so you're going to use this. It's right here, Spectral Ward, +1 maximum energy shield per 12 evasion. So you want a lot of evasion on your chest. No, not. There's two ways to do this build. You can do a high evasion chest piece, or you can do what I do with Warrior Invictus. And then you go with this node right here, Bestial Skin. 100% increased evasion rating from your body armor. So that just doubles the evasion you get, which doubles the amount of energy shield you get from your chest, and it ends up being pretty nutty. So down here at this bottom one, I'm using Controlled Metamorphosis. This saves us like quite a few skill points. Right now you see that I don't have Escape Velocity slotted. I really need to get this slotted. I should probably drop something and put this in. In the build guide that I have posted in the description, this probably will be slotted. But besides that, we just get as much poison as we can. So this one right here is 1 extra poison. This one right here is 1 extra poison. All this other shit is just like extra poison damage. And then for our weapon swaps, like you can see how this one has a slightly different red tint. That's because it's part of weapon swap 1. We're just getting as much chaos damage as we can. All the chaos damage. And then on weapon swap 2, we're getting all the minion life that we can. So we come up from here. This is kind of the important part of weapon swap 2. We have to grab this huge minion life node, and then we need to make our way all the way over here and grab this minion life node. And you can't actually grab these. I would like to, but you can't pass jewel slots with weapon swap like lines. I would need to actually use like a real skill point that uses both of my weapons in order to pass through a jewel slot. So yeah, we can't get these ones. And yeah, oh yeah, also with the jewels, if you get any extra jewels, or if you don't want to go with the energy shield jewels, you can totally go with minion life jewels, and that's really good too. Alright, so next up, what do we got? Alright, so then real quick, I'm going to try to go over my items, because I see that we are getting kind of long on the video. So the main item that I want to go over is Warrior Invictus. It gives me a little bit of everything. The way my tree is built, it says 555 evasion and 208 energy shield, right? But let me show you something interesting. If I take this off, look at my energy shield, look at my life. Let me pull this up too. Alright, you can see it all right here. Life, energy shield, evasion. Look how hard all those things tank off this one item. And I'm actually getting 3,324 evasion from this chest, not 555. Just because of the way that this tree is built, which I showed you in the passive tree. So yeah, with this you just slot in, I'm using the 2% extra life nodes. If you want, you can also put in the 10 rarity, but that's going to make this chest like super expensive. I would probably only use the 10 rarity gems if you manage to hit a 5th gem slot on this chest piece as a corrupt. Because that would make the chest piece valuable enough where it might be worth it. But then you could also get 10% increased maximum life, so it's up to you. Boots is corpse weight. I bought a bunch of them and corrupted them, and if I got, this was the only thing that really got anything positive. 2 extra rune slots, good enough. The belt, you want an extra charm slot. By the way, with all the rares, you pretty much just want to get life and resistances, and then if rarity where you can fit it. The gearing is actually pretty simple outside of Warrior Invictus and Corpse Wade. But on the belt, you want to get +1 gem slot. This is because in the end game, the only thing that's really going to kill you is getting stunned or frozen. And with 2 gem slots, you can get both of those charms, and you can cover both of your weaknesses. So you will rarely die. And yeah, I pretty much went from being kind of frustrated with this character to literally not dying at all unless I really fuck up hard. So these 2 are huge. And then gloves, it doesn't matter, just same life resistance as rarity. The wand, you want as much chaos damage on the wand as you can get. Plus level to chaos spells is good, but it's not as good as you would think, since 80% of your damage, if not more, comes from decompose, and decompose barely scales. It does get affected by chaos spell skills, but it doesn't give it much damage. Getting like a 200% chaos wand, I don't know if that exists, but if it did, getting one like that would be like way more damage than getting a +5 level to decompose. The helmet, same rarity, life, resistance. The shield is kind of important. You want to get as much block chance as possible. My shield is kind of cracked. If you can get one like this, then great. Like, this is a pretty good shield. But you might have to go a little lower if you don't want to spend some bucks on like the block chance and all the stats and shit. Rings, getting increased chaos damage is good because that buffs the poison damage. And then same rarity where you can get it, life resist. The neck, my neck is super cracked. This neck is like, you can't even find this, you can't even buy this necklace on softcore trade, which like, that's insane. I don't know how much it's worth. It might be worth like 50 divines. It might only be worth like 10 divines, but nobody is selling anything comparable to this. So you won't get a necklace like this. You just won't, most likely. But you know, do the best you can. For us, we don't actually need those +2 level of all spell skills, so you could sacrifice that part and then get this necklace for somewhat cheap. Also, it says I allocated smooth buckler. Do not allocate smooth buckler. That I fucked up so heavily on. I'm so salty about it. But smooth buckler is right here, next to where we get this metamorphosis gem. So realistically, if you do this right, you should get smooth buckler in the passive tree, and then allocate the gem to shield expertise. I would imagine that might be the best, right? I feel like shield expertise would be pretty good, or the one that gives you movement speed when you block. But that's what I should have did. I fucked up, dude, which sucks. I fucked up on such a valuable necklace, and I did it because when you go to put the anoints on it, so I accidentally anointed the wrong thing. Then I was like, it gave me block chance. That's like what I wanted anyway, but it just gave me the wrong block chance node. It's like, I'll take it. Later on, I'll just use a tainted oil, because it tells you, like, if the item's corrupted, you must use a tainted oil. Guess what? There's no fucking tainted oils in the game yet. So the game just baited me into corrupting my hella valuable necklace, and it did give me, like, the best in slot corrupt. But still, I can't fix my anoint now. So that really sucks. So you would not anoint smooth buckler. You would anoint something else. Outside of that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just life, resistances, and rarity. So on the weapon swap, you want a bunch of spirit. That way you can have a bunch of brutes. And then you also want minions have increased life. And I'm pretty sure you can roll plus level to minion gems. You want that as well. That'll boost Grim Feast, but it won't really matter because you're barely ever in this weapon. And then it'll also boost your level of your brutes. On this shield, there's probably other stuff that you can use. I just use this shield because it gives me plus 50 spirit. That's literally it. That's the only reason. And yeah, so you'll kind of see how I play in the map. I'll have some footage going after this, and I'll show you how it works, I guess. Alright. I appreciate everybody stopping by the video. I'm probably going to start working on a new character now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I already have a stat stacking monk ready to go, but I don't really like doing that meta shit. I just made him so I could kill all the bosses that I farm on this character. But I think I might do like a physical blood mage, or I don't know, I'm going to fuck around. I want to do something weird. I like doing off-meta builds and experimenting with the game. But we'll see what I do. But thank you to everybody who stopped by and enjoyed the guide. And I hope everybody has a good day and finds some divines. Alright, enjoy.